Welcome to our today's class. My name is Simon. This is economics. We are doing the macroeconomics topics, whereby now we are done with the national income. And for our today's topic, we shall be tackling the topic of economic growth and economic development, or economic planning, economic growth and economic development. Is it? Economic growth and economic development, development, and economic planning. One time, somebody asked, is there differences between growth and development? Yes? Is there differences between growth and development? Huh? Which is better between growth and development, if you are asked? Huh? Growth is reversible, development is not reversible, which is good. Between development, meaning that you can grow without developing. Can you develop without growth? Hey. Have you ever asked yourself whether you are growing or you're developing? Are you growing or are you developing? Which is which? Both. And which have a greater rate? Which is having the greatest rate? Is it the growth or development? To you, in you. Right? Say it. That's it. Meaning that there are these people that do usually grow and grow and grow without any development. How do you know that you are developing and not just growing? Like each and every day, you should learn something, is it? Something new and something beneficial. That's when you know that you are developing. Growth is natural, is it? Yes, growth is natural. Meaning that there can, in an economy, we can have growth, but there is no development. I usually view the differences between the growth and development into this perspective, that when you're talking about the growth, we are talking about the quantity, is it? The quantity. But when you're talking about the development, we are talking about the quality, is it? Meaning that our GDP can grow in the quantity, is it? But generally, the life of the people or the life of the citizens of that country are really not developing in respect to this. Development, it's measured into the respect of the adult literacy, mortality rate, living standards, and what have you. So if the living standards are improving, if the adult literacy, it is increasing, if the mortality rate have reduced, that amounts to the development. Are we good? But when you're talking about the aspect to do with growth, all we are talking about is the quantity. Sometimes there can be growth, but no development, is it? Yes, but where there is the development, automatically there is growth, is it? We can differentiate that, start from economic growth. Economic growth, we say that refers to the steady refers to the steady increase, a steady increase in the country's productive capacity, which is identifiable by a sustained increase in a country's real output of goods and services, or real national income over time. So generally, this refers to the steady increase in the country's productive capacity, which is identifiable by a sustainable increase in the country's real output of goods and services. Then we say, lastly, we say about it, we say that this is a quantitative concept. This is a quantitative concept, is a quantitative concept, and may not be accompanied by an increase in the quality of life, So generally, what we are saying that in the respect to do with the growth, you are just increase the quantity output. But generally, it does not mean that the level of the quality of life have improved in any way. Are we good? Yes. Let's also define economic development. And when you're talking about the aspect to do with economic development, this refers to an increase in per capita income associated with an improvement in the indicators of the quality of life. So we are increasing per capita. In short, we are increasing the quality of life. We are increasing the living standard of the people. Are you together? That's now the development. Now you know whether are we experiencing growth, or we are just experiencing development, or we are experiencing both of them. Indicators, I had said them, indicators for a quality life, indicators for a quality life include the following. Number one is adult literacy. Number two, we have infant mortality. Three, we have life expectancy. Four, we have what? We have population per doctor. No, let's stick with that. Let's stick with those. Yes. So indicators of quality life include the following. Adult literacy. How can you know that this country is developing? When we see that there is an improvement of who? Of those who are literate. Is it? Yes. Like for instance, in the late 70s, we can say there was not that development. But there was just growth. But currently, the adult literacy is reducing day in, day out. Is it? Yes, yes. Then infant mortality. Infant mortality means those children that are born, how many are they surviving? Is it? Or how many are they dying? Is it? If we are reducing the number of the children that are being born or who we are reducing the number of the children who are dying at the infanthood, then we are developing life expectancy. What is the life expectancy? Go back to your village and see how many people are past 70 years. Yesterday there was what? There was the issue to do with a topic that was being discussed at Citizen. It was talking about the staggering mountain. Who saw that? Ah, yes, where? Another one? Who saw it? Who saw it? Staggering mountain. It was talking about, what do you watch? You watch Wega TV? You watch Afro? Who is the current CEO of Nakada? My people. My people. My people. Who is the current CEO of Nakada? I don't say John Motudo. John Motudo was the former. John Motudo was former. Who is the one of this one? Yes? Russia nakupigia. So, meaning that we can have what? We can have okay. It was talking about staggering what? Mountain, whereby we were talking about a situation whereby most of the youths, or there is some youths currently, even in your village, which is constituency, which is your constituency. Sorry for that. We need to know some things, is it? Yes. Whereby most of the peoples are being drunk, even at 8 a.m. Others at 6 a.m. Is it? Yes, yes. And we are talking about a situation whereby we are saying that there is high mortality of those peoples who have been doing what? Who have been taking alcohol. Is it? Even if we are the Mount Kenya region is the third. It is the third of the most what of those people who are taking alcohol. It's ranked the third after Nyanza, Busa, after Nyanza and what have you. It leads on intoxication, whereby most of the deaths that are happening, 37% come from Mount Kenya region. Is it? Yes. So mortality or life expectancy aspect. Then let's talk about reasons for low level of economic growth. Reasons. For low levels of economic growth in less developed countries, include the following. That is, number one, we have high population growth rate. You know that, is it? High population growth rate. Number two, we have the aspect of insufficient natural resources. Insufficient natural resources. 3, we have the aspect of inadequate human resources. Inadequate human resources. Number 4, we have inadequate enough infrastructure. Inadequate infrastructure. 5, we have underutilization of the resources. Underutilization of the resources. 6, we can say of excess government intervention. Excess government intervention. 7, we have inadequate financial. Inadequate financial institutions. Inadequate financial institutions. These are the reasons as to why there is what? There is the aspect of what? There is the aspect of low levels of economic growth in developing or in less developed countries. There is high population. I don't know. There was somebody whom I had saying that for those farm, okay, I'm not using that as an example. That if you see that a poor person, you see, somebody who is poor, I don't know what is your perspective about somebody who is poor, is that those families tend to be many, is it? Afikiri kitu ingine, si ndio? Afikiri kitu ingine. So, do you know that those Western nations views us as being poor, regardless of your living standard? Is it? So, high population, growth rate. 2, insufficient natural resources. They are resources, but they are insufficient. Then, inadequate human resource. Human resource, it's all about the skills. Because now, assuming you are poor, like for instance, and so, inadequate human resource ahead of another motivational speaker. I know you have ever heard of it. Ati unazaliwa kwa familia, utaki, unaenda shule yenye, utaki, unapata mpenzi mwenye, utaki, unafanya kozi yenye, utaki, unapata marks zenye, utaki, unapata watoto wenye, utaki, unafanya kazi yenye, utaki, unakuwa na marafiki wenye, utaki, unaishi maisha menye, utaki, is it? Inadequate human resource, a lack of skills, is it? Yes, yes. Then, inadequate infrastructure, is it? You know it. For instance, we are so, there are these peoples, or there are these places, like in Nyandarua. That place can be so productive, is it? But there is no roads, is it? To cater for us. Then, underutilization of the resources. Yes, we have resources, but we have underutilized them. Who know of this company called Taro? Taro. Let me see whether somebody who is near it will knows it. Where is your county? Larissa. Yes, I know. What's Taro? Taro. Turrow. Do you know that company called Taro? Hey. You can see we have resources. Taro is the company that found oil there at It was Garissa or where? Or Turkana? Turkana, but it is your neighboring country. But now there is embezzlement of funds. There is the aspect of what? Leadership, excess government intervention, such that even it's kind of we are hidden, is it? Yes, yes. It is called taro oil manufacturing, something like that. Then inadequate financial institution. We have financial institution, but they are inadequate. Very good. Yes, yes. Then benefits of economic growth. Benefits of economic growth. And some of the benefits include the following, that is improvement of standard of living, number two, we have reduction of poverty, reduction of poverty. Number three, we have people are able to afford basic necessity. People are able to afford basic necessities. Four, it brings social stability. It brings social stability. E.g., no political what? No political unrest. No political unrest. No political unrest. No political unrest. But it is their democratic right, is it? Yes, it's their democratic right. Then cost of economic growth. Cost of economic growth. Cost of economic growth. Number one, you say it may lead to exhaustion. It may lead to exhaustion or depression of non-renewable resources. Two, you say that growth may be associated with huge opportunity cost. Growth may be associated with huge opportunity cost, that is, e.g., provision of basic facility may be in sacrifice. Provision basic facilities may be in sacrifice of industrialization. Three, we can say of negative externalities. Negative externalities, e.g., pollution. Number four, you can say of growth lead to adoption. Growth lead to adoption. of capital, adoption of capital, intensive procedures, intensive production methods that will contribute to technology that may lead to technological unemployment, then 5 is that it can lead to increase in, it can lead to an increase in the level of the public debt, the level of the public debt with or especially with capital obtained from external borrowing. And so those are the what? Those are the cost, you see, or the negative side about the economic what? Economic growth. That number one, it may lead to exhaustion or depression of standard of living, of non-renewable resources, is it? Because if you exhaust something, that's the end of it, is it? Yes. 2, growth may be associated with huge opportunity cost. For instance, we are focusing mostly onto the basic facility in expense of industrialization. Then negative externalities. Externalities are such as pollution and so forth. Then growth leads to adoption of capital-intensive production method that contribute to technological unemployment. Then also it can lead to increase in the public debt, and you can see what is happening to Kenya. Yes, a good example is Kenya. Our honorary student, take a screenshot. Our honorary student, take a screenshot. So as we can go to the role of industrial development in economic growth and development. Role of industrial development in economic growth and development. Tumemaliza? Who is not done? All the way to external borrowing. David, you're done. Kimutai, we are done. Thank you. I'm hoping that our online student have taken a screenshot. So the next thing that we shall tackle is the role of industrial development. Role of industrial development, in economic growth, in economic growth and economic development. And some of the role of the industrial development include, it's a major source, is a major source of government revenue through taxation. These are so direct. Two is that they create employment, creates employment. Then three, industrial development supports the growth of other sector, the growth of other sectors such as agriculture sector. Number four, we can say of promote economic diversification, promote economic diversification. That is, especially the countries that rely on agriculture, especially on countries that rely on agriculture. Five, you can say that the industry help the development of new technology, assists in development of a new technology. Also six, we can say export producing industry, a major source of foreign exchange. Export producing industries are a major source of foreign exchange. Then manufacturing production from the industry, fast, relatively stable prices compared to agriculture. Manufacturing products from industries fetch relatively stable prices compared to agriculture or agricultural products. So those are some of the aspects to do with the role of agriculture development to economic growth and economic development, that it is a major source of government revenue, that is through taxation. Two, you can say it creates employment. Three, industrial development supports the growth of other sector such as agriculture sector. Then four, promotes economic diversification, especially on the countries that rely on the agriculture, assisting development of new technology. Export producing resort to source of foreign exchange. Then manufacturing products have a more stable prices than the agriculture product. Then problem facing industrial development. Problems facing industrial development, which are some of the some of the what? Some of the problem. Lack of sufficient capital source. Lack of sufficient capital source. Two, we have political instability. Political instability. Three, we have lack of adequate raw material, lack of sufficient, lack of sufficient raw material, sufficient raw materials. Four, we can talk of lack of government financial, lack of government financial and technical support. Technical support. Number five, we can talk of lack of sufficient skilled manpower. Then also you can say unreliable power supply. Unreliable power supply. These are some of the challenges that really affect our industry development. There is lack of government support. There is that aspect of lack of sufficient raw material. And in an examination, kindly look, I've not said lack of raw materials. I've not written lack of raw material. I've written what? Lack of sufficient. Because some of you read this and then they write their own way. Is it? They are materials, but they are not enough. Is it? So in short, what I'm saying when I'm talking about with lack of sufficient capital source, I'm meaning there is capital, but it is not enough. Are you good? There is capital, but it is not enough. So you better write lack of enough capital resource, if sufficient shall be had for you. Sasa? Yes. So lack of enough capital source, lack of enough raw material, lack of appropriate government financial and technical support, lack of enough skilled manpower, and unreliable power supply. Is it? Napatanga stima zilipata. When was that day? Zilipatanga? Saturday. This last Saturday, but one. Is it? But it was almost countrywide. Is it? 98% of everywhere there was no electricity. Then policies to improve industrial development. Policies to improve industrial development. Which are these policies? And we use to improve the industrial development. Number one, provision of financial support to industry investors. Provision of financial support to industrial investors, either directly or indirectly. Number two is establishment of reliable system. Establishment of reliable systems of what? Systems of infrastructures necessary to support industrial development. Number three, we can talk of maintaining political stability. Maintaining political stability and peace so as to attract foreign investors. Or we can talk of expansion of industrial market, expansion of the industrial markets through economic integration. Number 5, we can talk of what? We can talk of encouraging of growth of informal, encouraging the growth of informal small scale industries, that is the dual. Then 6, we can talk of investing in human resources training, investing in human resource training so as to improve the quality of industrial labor force. So generally, we are looking at the problems that we have, and then we are trying to come up with policies that will assist us to solve those issues. Is it? Yes. For instance, lack of sufficient skilled manpower. Number 6, investing in human resources. We're checking onto our problems, and then you're coming up with a solution to our problem. So if you know the problem, you can come up with a solution. Is it? Thank you. So the policies include provision of financial support, establishment of reliable infrastructure, maintaining peace and political stability, expansion of the industrial markets, then encouraging of the growth of the informal, small-scale industries, investing in human resource, and so forth. Actually, when those demonstrations will start, we shall see that even the foreign government will notify their citizens that evade these pressures, is it? Like you saw when we were talking about the elections time, is it? It tells you evade this county, evade this country, and so forth, is it? Yes. The next thing that we shall be tackling is factors responsible for economic growth. Factors responsible for economic growth. That is, in bracket, we can say increase in national income, increase in national income. We can talk of that, is it? Increase in national income. Which are the factors? Number 1, discovery of new resources. Discovery of new resources. So ahead of, there was that in Kenya we have a lot of natural resources which are underutilized. For those who have been reading the newspapers of today, is it? We have a lot of resources which are underutilized. Like for instance, if we can discover gold in Kenya or other places that we can have more than 1 trillion megatons of oil, we can be so wealthy. But now the issue is, will that revenue be evenly distributed to everyone, or will it be selfishly be taken? Then advancement of the technology level. If you advance your technology, then your output shall be more, thus increasing your national income. Then an increased quality of the labor force, This is through what? Through education and what? Education and training. Is it? Through education and training. Number 4, the rate at which new products are developed. Meaning what? If it's high, then it shows a high what? High level of what? Level of innovation. And that's why it will increase the national income. So these are the factors that really determine the economic growth or the increase in the national income. What about now, if the examiner shifts it to probably factors that result to decrease in the national income? 1, Gato, you shall say what? Yes? Yes, Yes, so the rate at which new products are developed is low, is it? That's true. Kipchumba too, when we are saying that an examiner says a situation whereby factors that may result to reduction in national income. 2, yes, poor technology. Where 3, yes, poor infrastructure or deteriorating infrastructure. Hibo, yes, reduced quality of the labor force, such that there is high level of dropouts and people are disregarding training. Is it? Yes, I think. Yes, Kemutai, the last one. Yes? Yes? Reduction in export, increase in imports. It's more or less the same. Last 3. Oh, yes. Yes, non-competitive education system, meaning that the quality of our education system being poor, is it? Yes. Another one? Yes. I'm silent on that. Yes, depression of the natural resources. That's what I was checking. Depression of the natural resources. Assuming we have a lot of natural resources and then they vanish. Dennis, Sharon, Betty, I'm coming to you. Then relationship between actual and potential growth. Relationship between actual and potential growth. Those are the differences that I need us to see between the actual and the potential. Potential, it is what? It is your perspective, is it? Your perspective. Like for instance, if I'm correct, most of you here, they are in their 20s, is it? You are in your 20s. And you thought, yes? You're saying 16. No. I can't teach us 16. And you thought at this time or at this juncture, you shall be having a house, you shall be having a car, is it? You shall be having what? Money. Currently, you don't have a car, you don't have a house, you don't have money, you don't have a certificate, is it? So which are the differences? Let me show you diagrammatically what the difference are. It looks like this. That is we have the real GDP and the time. The potential, actually it is unrealistic. This is the potential. Potential, that's your potential. But when you're talking about the real, is the real. That's what happens, is it? Saying after this, I shall do like this. Then after this, I'll do like this. Then after this, I shall do like this and this and this. Huh? Like another day, Betty was telling me that her dream was to become a neurosurgeon. Now she is, and now she is an accountant. Is it? Your dreams are varied, is it? Yes. 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 See, it is possible. Sharon. All right, student, take a screenshot. I need to wrap the board. On right, student. I believe all of us, we are drawing there, is it? Yes, on right, student, take a screenshot. I believe you have. So allow me to wrap here. It's true. She told me that, even if she tells you it was a no. Very good. Yes. So we say something about this, is it? We say something, is it? We write this, and actually, if you're quick enough, when I'm reading here, you can be writing. You don't have to wait. So as you can say, I've written there, and then you write, is it? And then we go fast. Then we say actual growth is an annual increase. Actual growth is an annual increase in the country's real economic productivity that keeps on fluctuating according to the business cycle, according to the business cycle. Then you say potential growth, potential growth is the annual real GDP of is the annual real estimate of economic growth that will occur if all the resources are fully and efficiently utilized, Meaning what? Meaning that most of the time, there is no that, actually all the time, there is no aspect of fully utilization of what? Of the resources, is it? Like for instance, and I'm sorry to say this, most of us, we are yet to tap our real potential, is it? Yes. And you know it when you feel that, I believe I have a potential, but you are relaxing. You procrastinate today, you procrastinate tomorrow, and the other day, then it becomes a forgotten something, is it? Other than running CPA or the bachelor's, what else can you do? Is it? We saw there is this lady who is running nursing at KMTC Nyahururu. You know her. The lady who usually talks. Yes. Don't know Dennis, you know her. Now she is an ambassador of youth just because of talking about her. So when you're posting things, make sure that you're posting something which is appropriate. Is it? Something that is knowledgeable. The internet will always remember you. Is it? Yeah. So if you have ever abused somebody online, actually, there was this PS, permanent secretary, in the reign of, it was 2014, whereby she was elected to be a PS of the youth, cheddar, something like that. But it was a PS, a permanent secretary. They are more or less the same as a CS, is it? Then, and out of that, the people, she was the only one who was shortlisted to be approved by the president. That was by President Uhuru. And I know you know this, is it? Whereby, after the president forwarded that name to the parliament for it to be approved, there was a debate. And here comes a Facebook post that she posted like 10 years ago of abusing people and what have you. And that was the end of it. She never obtained a job. So if you have ever abused somebody online or something close to that, go ahead, retrieve that message and publish. If you are posting something which are not good, is it? Go ahead, retrieve that, is it? Because they will haunt you later, is it? They will usually haunt you later, is it? Yes, so that's the differences between the actual. Actual, it's what is happening. Potential is our perspective when we have what? Full utilization of the resources. Yes, yes. I saw also, there are these kids who usually dances. Are they from Uganda? Small kids, a batch of nine kids. Yes. Do you know they are the best paid YouTubers in Africa with around 700 million Kenyan shillings? Was it per month? Per month, 700 million. just dancing. See? So Mimi. Okay. Let's talk about development planning or economic planning. Development planning or economic planning. Is it? Yes. And we usually say that this is the setting. This is the setting of an economic what? Of an economic objectives and laid down strategy and laid down strategies to facilitate the achievement of the goals, set, e.g. Vision 2030. Vision 2030. I saw Dubai had a vision. Is it Vision 2025? Is it? They are building a what? They are building a 175 block. Is it? Of 3 kilometers. 175 kilometers and a width of 3 kilometers. 170. This from here all the way to where? Mombasa. Those people who come from Mombasa. Mombasa, it's how many kilometers? Oh, it's all the way to Nakuru. Imagine building something of around more than 3 by 3 kilometers, 173 kilometers. That will host more than 5 million people. Offices, malls, what? Is it? And they have started. Is it? Yes. But be watching documentaries, yes, of places. So as you can learn where you shall be visiting very soon. Amen. It's possible. It's possible. Yes. With your own money, not being taken. With your own money. Is it? Yes, yes. Importance of development planning. Importance of economic planning. And I've heard that rough is from Sharon. I know even am I right? Be honest. Exactly. Yes. So the importance of economic planning. Why should you plan? Like for instance, if you have not paid for Casmere, it's 10 days to 10 days only. Is it? Only 10 days. So for those and for those who are given money and they ate, right now retrieve the money. Is it? It's only 10 days left. Yes. 10 days. Meaning that we are just remaining with 1 month and 10 days. And now the issue is, are you prepared? Now this is the time that the sleep, the mattress, or your sleep, or that mattress of yours should be escorted all the time. Is it? Yes, yes. So as you can avoid some heart attack when Casnep is about to announce this. Are you good? So make sure that you are sleeping enough, but also you are reading enough. Is it? Yes, yes. 1 month, 10 days to the Casnep. So number one, facilitate mobilization of foreign aid. Facilitate or attainment. Attainment for foreign aid. When you have a plan, even the foreign aid, you can retrieve it very fast, is it? When you have a plan, is it? Hata ukienda kukopa na si unaendanga nasema nisaidie na hii, nataka kufanya nini? Hii. Is it? Wezi tu sema pe pesa tu. Ya nini? Hakuna. Ni pepe? Pe pesa. Nakumbuka vyenye uliomba pesa last time. Ulisema ni za hivi. Is it? Nataka kufanya hivi. Is it? Yes, yes. Foreign aid. Is it? Yes, yes. Then two, prevent market failure. Market failure. It's more or less the same as currently. For those people who won't do appropriate revision, I'm sorry, it shall be catastrophic. Is it? Hibo, very. That's true. Yes, yes. You plan appropriately to avoid any catastrophic events. Then, planning has a psychological psychological benefits, such as peace of mind. For those who will read appropriately, even when the examination will be nearing, yes, they shall be having stress, but it is just a random stress, is it? Not excessive stress, is it? Yes, yes. Allow me to use the vivid examples, is it, that you are aware of. Then 4 is that assists or helps in resource allocation and utilization. Assist, then it is a tool of communication. It is a tool of communication. It is a tool of communication. So, in short, a plan is a tool of communication to the citizens on what the government is planning to achieve. Is planning to achieve. Challenges encountered in economic planning. Challenges encountered in economic planning. Which are some of the challenges that affect even our personal planning? Is it? Number 1 is lack of political will from the political class. Lack of political will from the political class. Number 2 is lack of accurate data to work with. Lack of accurate data to work with. 3, we can say of lack of resources or inadequate resources. 4, we can talk of a weak institution. or political instability. Let's start from political instability. Also 5, insecurity. Insecurity. Also 6, you can say weak institution. Weak institutions which hinders the implementation of the plans. These are some of the challenges that really affect the economic planning or development planning. Lack of political will. You are seeing that, yes, it's something that have been proposed, but it is for the selfish gain of someone, is it? Yes, yes. Then lack of accurate data. Like for instance, our so lack of political goodwill, then lack of accurate data. You can have a plan, but you don't have appropriate data, is it? Then inadequate resources. Out is lack of political goodwill. The next one is inadequate resources. You can be having planning, but you don't have resources to implement that. Then insecurity, there can be insecurity as well as underutilization of what? Underutilization of the resources, as well as weak institution. Then qualities of a good development plan. Qualities of a good development plan include the following. That is, number 1, achievable. It should be achievable. 2, it ought to be realistic. 3, it ought to be time-bound. 4, it ought to be relevant. 5, it ought to be acceptable. 6, it ought to be sustainable. So any plan, for it to be good, it have to follow this. Is it achievable? Or you are telling us that next month you want a PhD, is it? And yet you it's impractical. Realistic. Time bound. Have you set appropriate time? Relevant. Where is this relevant? Is it? Is this plan relevant, acceptable? Will it be accepted by the stakeholders? Or you are telling us that, like I saw somebody saying that the rain is coming. 1 bag of what? 1 bag of maize flour is of maize is 3,500. 1 bag of what? 1 bag of carrots is 10,000. 1 bag of sativa cannabis, it's how much? It was 500,000. 1 bag of cocaine is 600 million. Then anasema kuwa tishaba ni yako, akili ni yako, tumia vizuri. But onto that a situation, will it be acceptable to the government, to the relevant authority? Then sustainable. Is this plan sustainable? Or you're just over planning, is it? Then the next thing that we shall tackle is characteristics of developing countries. Characteristics of developing countries. Number one, they have what? Low per capita income. Low per capita income. Low. Two, reliance on agriculture. Reliance on agriculture. Three is budget deficit. Four, there is high level of national debt. Five, we can talk of poverty. Six, we can talk of rapid population growth rate. Seven, we can talk of high levels of unemployment. Then eight is high level of balance of payment. Balance of payment, that is BOP deficit. Generally, these are the characteristics of developing countries or the third world countries, which includes Kenya. Is it? Which includes Kenya, whereby we are saying that we have low per capita income, or the aspect of income earners. It's low, is it? Yes, yes. Two, we have reliance on agriculture. Like, look, everybody is saying, wacha kunyeshe, maisha itakuwa sawa. Sindio? Yes, why? Because we are relying on agriculture. Let me ask you a question, Were and Kipchumba. When did it rain at Dubai? When did it rain at Dubai? You know, for the past 10 years, the rain that have rained there, it's less than actually 3. For the past 10 years, less than 3, probably 2 times. Na sio hii mvua kubwa, is it? But still, you can never hear them. Hey, the economy is bad. We are just relying on the rain. You see? Why? Because they have visionary leaders, you see? And basic commodities is not an issue to them, is it? They usually process. Like, I saw another topic that I was seeing that. Like, for us, when you go to the toilet, is it there outside? There is a soap and water, is it? So you will clean yourself, is it? So all that water was so clean, but only because you have cleaned yourself with that soap, that water shall never be used again. It shall be disposed of, and that's it. Is it? Just because of soap. Can't we have a mindset of removing those soap from that water? So each and everywhere, you're seeing water being thrown away. See? Reliance on agriculture. Wacha kunyesha mambo itakuwa sawa. Wacha na tugoje. Ama ni aje? Yes. Then budget deficit. All the time, you shall find that their budget have a deficit. And that's why you shall see that all the time that the government, they are borrowing. Then high level of national debt. You know it. I don't want to sensitize here. Poverty, you know it. I don't want to. Rapid population growth rate. You know, it reached a point whereby China came up with a policy and said that one family, one child. Is it? Yes, yes. Although they are currently doing what? Diverting to one family, 2 children. And now you know how many people would have never been born if you are in China. So if you're not the firstborn in your family, probably you will never be born, is it? Yes. Then high level of unemployment, is it? There is a lot of potential people who are skilled, who have the potential to be in job, but they aren't. Then high level of balance of payment. Balance of payment is the differences between the exports and the imports, whereby we are just exporting millions and importing hundreds of billions, is it? Yes, yes. And that's the end of the topic: economic growth, economic development, and economic planning. I'm wishing you all the best.